Hello and welcome back, everyone. Scootsy16 here with another episode of the Chemlock League. And after the favorites get washed out of the playoffs in round one against the Protectors, we are on the back foot again, and we're just trying to figure out what we're going to do with this team. Still have to decide whether I'm going to do more than just this last season with them and then try a new team in the league. But for now, we're running it back. We're going to try and see if we can make it back to the playoffs, but maybe make it a bit farther. And there was a couple of inconsistencies on this team. I am hoping we can solve that in this off season. So to get things started, I do want to remind you at the end of the last episode, we lost Sullivan Reddier, and he has been underperforming for us. He's a solid defender, but he just did not put anything together offensively, and that just became very difficult for us to put up with on a regular basis, especially when he would get tense, and then we couldn't even have him in the infield because of the low mojo. Eliana Chambers left; she was not happy, so we got rid of her. Jess Trujillo was being overpaid. Same with Avery Connor, so they had to go. And then Waldo Ho and Carl Para were, I think, just casualties of the loyalty as well. So a couple of things we're going to be shaking up, but a reminder that we are going to have to stay at Tier 3 in Scholarly, Tier 2 in Crafty and in Spirited, and then Tier 1 in both Competitive and Disciplined. I have a plan that'll let that happen, as I already scouted the free agent pool, and I put a plan together for our team and what we should be looking at, barring a couple of changes. I do have us kind of committed to going all in once again this year. So again, not much development that we're going to have the opportunity to leverage this season either. But a quick reminder on the flexibility around chemistry. As long as I am at the current chemistry lock at the end of the off season, that's all that matters. So you might see me go in and out of some of these just because of the players being lost and timing of signing different players. So all right, what do we do here? Well, who's coming back? My plan is that we are going to keep our catching core, both Aaliyah and Mohammed. I was happy with them for the most part, so we'll bring them back for another season. Our infield is going to look, for the most part, pretty similar with Tiger Gray, Jack Mars, and Fernanda Branch as your first, second, and third baseman, respectively. We should have a new shortstop instead of Sullivan Reddier. Our extra infielders, RJ Solomon's going to be coming back, but unfortunately, due to cost and chemistry, we're going to be getting rid of Cora Bobbert, or at least that's the plan. She always was. She had the possibilities of being better than she was, but we really didn't see a lot of her in that season or last season. So we'll see what other option we have in just a few minutes. Outfield is going to look very different. We will keep Odin Thomas and we will keep Dash Boyd. And that's it. We're going to have a new center fielder, a new left fielder, a new backup option in the outfield as well. But we are going to shake things up, trying to find some new success. The pitching staff should look very similar to this with both Asher and Victor. I do plan to bring back Jess Trujillo, and we will have a true fourth starter. It will not be Cairo Cohen. The bullpen will look pretty much the same with Cairo, Emerson, and Jericho. But I have a couple of different options that are going to be at the bottom of our bullpen as well. So with all that out of the way, let's head into the free agent pool and let's take a look at what we're seeing here. I don't think there was many like really good rookie options, but there are a couple of players that I'm very intrigued that are younger that I think can be really good for us this season. So we'll start with, in place of Cora Bobbert, I plan to bring in Vic Cantu. He only plays first base, but he will have some solid speed, and he's decent contact and power. But of course, it's that ace exterminator trait that I'm more intrigued by. He has 55 fielding, so he has the flexibility to cover first base pretty viably, and we can bring Tiger Gray into left field if necessary, so we have some flexibility there. The starting shortstop for your favorites this season is going to be young Teodoro Powell. I'm pretty intrigued by this guy. Of course, that contact rating has me very nervous. 21-year-old righty. He's going to be pricey, but you know what? What I decided was we have the reliability on defense there with a crazy good arm, really great fielding. He has decent speed. He has magic hands. Even at tier 1, that's still going to help. And 99 power. You know what we didn't have from Sullivan right here? Any offense consistency whatsoever. It's not like we're going to lose anything if Teodoro isn't that successful offensively, but I think he'll run into a couple. I'm hopeful for that. So he's going to be our starting shortstop. In left field, we will have Hugo Base. I was really excited to see him available here, and he's valuable for a few different reasons. One, great contact. He's an incredible fielder, amazing cannon arm out there. Decent speed, but a little slower than I would normally like. He's got power versus lefties, which will be give him a 10 power boost against lefties, putting him at 71. He's also a utility outfielder and infielder, and with that great fielding, he can flex anywhere. And with the ability to put Tiger Gray over it in left field and Vic Cantu at first, it gives us a lot of options here for putting Hugo Base where we want him. So excited about that. In center field, no, we're going to get rid of the failed experiment that was Nick Wilkerson. And instead, I plan to be bringing in Juliana Wentz. Juliana Wentz isn't crazy impressive, but I like what I see from her here with the great speed, solid contact and fielding, decent power and arm, and she has a tier 2 stealer trait. That 84 speed, I think she can hold it pretty well. She's a a switch hitter as well. There's a good option there. Outfielder, the second backup in addition to Dash Boyd is going to be Castiel Andrews. He has little hack. That'll be fine. But he plays all three outfield positions. He's a lefty. He's got good speed. He's a decent fielder, and he has a solid arm. So that's really what we're bringing him in for. Hopefully he's one of those players that just barely ever sees the field. We'll come back to him in just a second. And as we head over to the pitching side of things, we will have Jess Trujillo come back as our third starter. At least that's the original plan based on how things are going to be calculated out. I would liked what we saw from her in the last start of the season and her one start in the playoffs. She did really good, and I have hope for her. Then we have Jackson Kahn. He is a young rookie who's going to be brought in as our number 4 starter. He's raw. He has no traits, but he has 5 pitches. He has great velocity, below average junk, and good accuracy. I'm happy with him as our number 4. Pitching wise in the bullpen, we just have 2 spots to fill, and those are going to go to a couple of weaker options, but I think they'll be fine. That'll be 1, Rodrigo Harper, the wild thing here. Essentially, this is Rick Vaughn from Major League, where he has wild thing trait and elite 4-seam fastball. He's a lefty with 98 velocity and 39 accuracy. So he's going to be coming in just throwing fire. We'll see if it pays off for us or not. Clint Brock is the other one, and he's just kind of average across the board. He's another lefty we'll have coming in. 4-seam curveball slider, no traits. I think he'll be fine for us. Now, with that breakdown out of the way, we're going to start making some moves, starting with a few players that are already below their price point. And we'll bring in Rodrigo Harper here. He's going to replace Carl Parra. Carl was somebody I was interested in bringing back, but that disciplined trait made it, or the disciplined chemistry made it really difficult, so I wasn't able to make it work. And then as far as our other reliever, Clint Brock is ready to go as well. He's 1.1 below his price point. He's coming in to replace Waldo Ho, who was 38 years old, and I just feel even more anxious keeping him around, as I believe regression is due to hit for him. Now, Clint's 35, so not much better, but I do think that we can hold up a little bit longer for Clint here, so fingers crossed, but we'll see. All right, the other one I believe is going to be, so Vic is not ready just yet. I want to get him around $6 million. He's 35. We are not ready for Teodoro at all. We're going to try and bring him in right around his price point. Same thing with Hugo. Same with Juliana Wentz. We'll see here. Where are you at? Juliana Wentz is not close. And then Castiel Andrews is 4.4, 1 million below. So we'll bring him in to replace Eliana Chambers. So those are the first few moves we will be making. I'll do a quick peek here to make sure both Jess and Jackson Kahn are not ready yet. So we are going to, as we normally do, we're going to simulate a few rounds here. Just checking for highlighted players here. Colton Blackburn gets taken by the Reapers. That's a really funny phrase. Case Hendricks, Prince Odable. Let's see, Wade Ivey was another player I was looking at. I was really wanting to bring him in, but just couldn't afford it. He was more expensive than I was going to be willing to pay. All right, I'm going to go one more round here, and then let's go ahead and check the cost of some of these players. Starting with Vic Cantu, not close yet. And then we have Teodoro, is still not close. Hugo Base, not there yet. Juliana Wentz, not there. And then we have our two starting pitchers. Jess Trujillo is at her price. I want to try and get her down to about 7-7, so we're going to wait a little bit longer for her. Jackson's still a little ways away. So we'll go a couple more rounds here. I'll do one more. And D Ford gets taken by the Burners. He was a pitcher I was really interested in, but he essentially is already covered with Cairo Cohen in the bullpen there. So wouldn't have been able to afford that at all. Vic Cantu, still got a ways away on him. Let's see where Teodoro is. We still got to wait a little bit longer on him price-wise. It's going to be tight, but that's what we're going to wait for. Hugo Base, same thing. We're going to wait a little bit longer for him. And Juliana Wentz, we got to wait a little bit there too. Jackson, not ready yet, but Jess is. So 7-6 for Jess. We'll bring her in. That's actually 1.1 cheaper than I thought. So we save some money there for her. Happy to see that. And let's go ahead and go another round. This is going to make me very nervous. Jonah Cook, by the way, an impressive player there. He was curious, but 30 years old was not something I could consider. All right. I don't think we're there just yet, but I'll check again. Vic Cantu's not there. Let's see. Teodoro, not just yet. What do I have him at? Oh, actually, he's below where I want him, so I factored him in at about 10.5. So I think this is the time to pull the trigger on him. Let's bring him in for Sullivan. Things are getting tight here for sure. But that signing at center field is going to give us a little bit more flexibility here. Hugo Base at 11.6. I want to go one more round for him. I know that's tough, but I think I'm going to wait for him one more round. And Juliana Wentz, I am going to go one more round for her as well. I hope this doesn't bite me in the butt. Jackson, we're going to wait for him one more round. So let's go. Fingers crossed. Hugo gets signed. Shit. Well, this kind of throws a wrench in things. Although it does allow me to consider another option here. So give me 1 second. Who did I have? Castiel Andrews is our outfield option that's disciplined. Shit. I know this always happens. Well, good news is, one, let's go ahead and just bring in Juliana right now. She's at around where we wanted her anyways. She's going to replace Nick Wilkerson, so we free up a lot of money there. Nick was a huge disappointment, and I'm so frustrated with him. Glad he's gone. Vic Cantu, we're still going to wait on him. He's not here near his price point yet. And then we have Jackson, who is not there just yet. I want to go one more round with him. There's a lot of starting pitchers here. But I was actually considering taking Joshua Lawrence here instead of Jess Trujillo, which would be a huge upgrade at pitcher. We get an actual lefty in the starting rotation, which we don't have right now, and I was kind of not a fan of that. And we lose a little bit of velocity, but we will gain a lot of junk and a lot of accuracy there. So I like it. Plus, we get an elite four-seam fastball. So I think I'm going to go that route. But before I make that change, let's figure out who we're going to be taking at left field now, because that messed everything up. Now, Makai Peterson is another one that I was really interested in, and I'd like to actually bring her in place of Hugo, but she is disciplined. So if we do Makai, and this is where things get really, really wonky, Castiel Andrews, Hugo Base was spirited. So let's see if we can find an outfielder that might be a little bit more than Castiel, who's at 4.4 right now. and see if we can get someone who can play multiple outfield positions. This was another guy I was looking at. And actually, you know what? I might go this route. To some Yamagans, a lefty. Left field plays all three positions. The traits don't do much. Decent contact and power, and he's 19, so there's a chance for him to develop. So I think if we bring him in to replace Castiel Andrews, then we can bring in Mackay Peterson. The math may not work out, though, for what we want. So before I bring in Toothsome, let's see what other options we have here. Milana, Carmelo. See, he's getting expensive, too. Yeah, see, this is where things suck when it doesn't go your way. Could go Evergreen Meal or Melee as well. Scholarly is fine. Let's look at him and to some Yamagans here, and let's bring in Mackay right now, and then we just, you know what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring in Mackay for sure. We are going to plan to get rid of Castiel Andrews as our other disciplined player, and we're just going to figure out when we can bring somebody in and just do our best to make that change. So Mackay comes in. She's going to be our starting left fielder, multi-time All-Star, I believe. And we still have some room here, but the big signing that we still have to do is we have to bring in Vic Cantu, which we have to get him down to about 6 million. And then the other big signing is Jackson, who we're going to go one more round in. So let's do that. Man, the whole thing got messed up with that one round that I was hoping that Hugo could go a little bit further. Demi Berg, Mr. Ingrown, Diego Lee. I like Diego Lee, but Whiffer on him doesn't look good at all. Sky Wall gets taken by the Reapers. They're looking really good. Really a kicky. B-Buck goes back to the Skimmers. Marcel Vincent goes back to the Outlaws. I was looking at him a bit too. Crisp goes to the Scroungers. Swing Barnstormer to the Reapers. And Destiny Boone goes to the Skimmers. So they have an elite closer now. Let's do a quick peek again. I am getting really nervous, and this happens every single time I do these. I'm sure you're already familiar with that so far. I wanted Khan at 7.0. We're not going to get there. I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to bring him in now. That fills that last spot, and then things get a little bit more clear around making some of these extra decisions here. So Avery won't be coming back. Khan is our fourth starter. And now we have Cora Bobbert at 6'4". Yeah, we can't afford upgrading at Jess Trujillo and still spend money to upgrade Castiel Andrews, but he has to go. Now, our option here, like Dash Boyd is our reliable defensive outfielder. Like he is coming in as our defensive option in all three outfield positions for either of these three that when we need it, right? So Castiel doesn't have to be a defensive benefit. He has to be able to play all three outfield positions, but he's more so for an offensive bat. So an option here, again, would be Yamagans, who's right at his price point right now, and that would be 1.5 over. So 1.5 over there. Or, yeah, that's even more expensive. Maybe we try Yamagans for right now, because he's at his price point at 19, so that's pretty solid. Bring him in to replace Castiel. Now we're back to our correct chemistry. Vic's got to keep getting down a little bit further, so we're going to keep going. We'll go another round here. Welch goes, Lang, Simpson, Escargot, Meyer. Camilo Lawrence goes to the Burglars. She's back in the division. Werner Madrano to the Sewer Sneaks. Hopper Villanueva to the Outlaws. Some scary names here. A lot of good players. I'll go one more round. Okay, okay, okay. Whistle Thornton to the Marauders. Titan Turnip was a good name. All right. And come on. Where's the end of this? Jeez. Everybody got signed that round. All right, let's take a look. Where are you at? Victor, he's at 6-5. Oh, shit. This is just continuing to get really frustrating. Green's at 6. I think it's going to be harder and harder for us to justify signing. We can't currently afford to bring in Josh Lawrence over Jess Trujillo. So we'll have to keep waiting here, and we'll see if something breaks. So we'll do another round. Tiago, Colton. Oh, Colton's already dropped by the Reapers. They bring in Beast Magana instead. And okay, there's all of those. Vic, where are you at now, dude? 6-4. Gosh, it's just inching. I want to go one more round and then we'll see where we're at here. I'm really hoping that Lawrence is still available. Sullivan gets brought to the Burglars, so we're going to have to see him at least twice. And Lawrence got signed by the Burners, so he's gone now. So we won't upgrade there. That's unfortunate. Vic, 6-3 now. I want to keep going a little bit further. And we have 900,000 to work with. About 1 million left to work with. We could look to do an upgrade at like the pitching spot. So what pitchers would we be able to afford? Pretty much no one, I'm sure. Dainty Angeles, we could bring in an elite curveball, but 11 accuracy is awful. Yeah, and these are all much worse options. What about Clint Brock here? Amelia Gibbs. I don't like Surrounded. Hey, there's really no option here to upgrade. Luis Exuberantly would be an option. Less accuracy, more junk, more velocity. 3 good pitch mix there with an elite cut fastball at 81 velocity, but he's essentially a young or reliable version of Rodrigo Harper. Oh, I wish I could afford to upgrade to him, but that's 2 million. All right, let's go another round. And we're just quickly going through here. Shadow Anaya signed. Vic Cantu at 6-2. I'm getting him down to 6 million. That's my goal. Yeah, Grib Miranda I'm not interested in. So Vic's going to get down to 6 million. We'll see what other options we have in a second here. Oh, yeah. There he is. All right, 6 million. He's going to come in. He's going to replace Cora Bobbert. That's going to put us back down to tier 2 in Crafty, which we needed to get to. We have 1.3 million left to work with. So where do we look to get an upgrade here? The option would be Toothsome or Gesture. Let's check Gesture here. If there's any option to upgrade. Not going to go with Tucker here. Oh, it's a bit intriguing. And then no to all of these options here. There's no upgrade at starting pitcher, unfortunately. And actually, could we bring in Exuberantly now? 1.7. Damn it. We couldn't do it. It's close, though. Quick check and see if we can upgrade in the outfield here. We have Oakley Marzo. Oakley? Can't do it. He's disciplined. Could watch and see if Jonah drops back down. He might come back if we could afford him. That's a long wait. Raiden Riel. He was the guy I was looking at as well. He is sprinter, which is negligent. Distractor at tier 2 would be a lefty, has great contact, has decent speed, decent fielding, and arm, and could play all three outfield positions. Power is low. He's a better fielder, he's better speed, he's better arm, he's better contact. He just loses that power. And I like those traits better too. He's on my short list. I think Raiden is an option for us to upgrade here. Let's see what else. No to Pax, no to Rhett. Emmy is a no. No, we're not doing Eliana again. Excuse me. Pass on Doug. Pass on Liliana. And these are all downgrades at this point. Let's see. Center field options. We can do Flown Corona. She's all pretty much here for the speed. She can only play first as a backup. Dalton is close. He's 32, low contact. Ryan Dantas. First pitch Slayer is tier 1 and Butterfingers is tier 3, so not a good option there. Carmelo, Milana, Giselle. Melvin Shambles. I don't like the RBA 0. Go to Jackson. And I don't think anyone else here is a viable option. Evergreen is interesting, but I don't like the low contact there. I would much rather just go with Raiden Real. So I think I'll do that. I'll go Raiden here. What does that do to our power stays up there anyways. So spend a little bit more to get Raiden Real. He's 21, so we're still staying young. We have plus 800,000 left. And as far as any other upgrades go, I don't think we really have a viable option here. Yeah, we already have those options ruled out. Raiden Herschel is too much, unless he keeps dropping. But he's 37, and I don't like having that risk of regression there. Tucker Blaze, I don't like easy jumps. He's also competitive. And everything else is a downgrade. So I guess the only other option we could consider is if we brought Jess into the bullpen, or just pull Jess for a bullpen option like Avery Connor. Do that again and put Cairo Cohen in the starting rotation. But I think Jess is fine. Yeah, I think Jess is fine. And then it might sim to the end of this. Well, if we can maybe fit in Luis exuberantly, if he gets down to his price point, I'd upgrade from Rodrigo Harper to him. Cinnamon Muddy Water won't get down to that. She's always pitched really well, but surrounded is such a bad trait, especially for an AI bullpen pitcher. Yeah, and there's no other option. So let's just sim to the end of this off season and let's see what options are available. If we can make any other moves. Otherwise, this may be the team. Okay, let's take a look. Let's see. We were I won't replace him. RJ is solid for us. See if we can replace anybody else here in the outfield. No good options. So no, we're not doing outfield changes. Nope, no starting rotation options. And then Rodrigo exuberantly was signed. So he's not an option. And none of these relief pitchers in that B2B plus category are an option either. So no luck there. Clint. We could upgrade to Amelia, but again, surrounded. I don't want to do Meltdown. We have we can't afford Waldo or Besto. And we can't afford Avery Connor either. So no luck here. We're not going to get any... no upgrade options available at all. So we will stick with what we have. Everybody, this got picked apart. Elias Hensley's still out there. That's kind of sad. Carmelo Lansley's a decent option for sure, but we're tier 1, and that disciplined is just not something we can consider there. And that's it. I think that's all we have. So the team has been set. Let's do a quick peek and see if any development options are available. Chance for Jackson Kahn to get an Elite Four seam fastball and some upgrade already, but we won't be able to afford that. Dash Boyd with development, but we're not going to do that. We can't afford that for Wentz. We could do this one for Aaliyah. We're not going to do that one for Muhammad McCormick. The only reason I'd consider this for Aaliyah is because she actually could play some infield for us. So it'd be really helpful for us there. So I think with all of that out of the way, let's just do a quick take a quick look at the team and review some of the changes that we made. A bit of a pivot we had to make at the last second, but a quick reminder, we will have our catching tandem back in Aaliyah and Mohammed. Our infield will look very similar, only a couple of changes there. We have Tiger, we have Jack Mars and Fernanda Branch. New starting shortstop is Teodoro Powell. He's going to be, I'm going to call him Teddy Powell. And he is going to be our starting shortstop, young guy, low contact, but crazy good power, crazy good arm. He's a great defender, and I'm hoping he can hold up for us in place of Sullivan Reddier. RJ Solomon comes back as a good backup option, and then Vic Cantu will come in to support us there as well. In the outfield, new starting left fielder, Makai Peterson, former All-Star. She's on this team now. Take a quick look at her career. She has had some really good seasons, really reliable hitter, so I'm hoping that continues for us. She'll be in left field. Center field will be womaned by Juliana Wentz. She's a young 22-year-old with great speed, good contact and fielding, and decent power and arm. She's a good a stealer candidate as well, so she might be our leadoff woman, and maybe have Tiger Gray behind her to hit her in. That would be really nice. Raiden Riel, backup option, decent bench bat, decent outfield option to consider, and Dash Boyd, of course, as our defensive expert in the outfield. Odin Thomas, our MVP, comes back for another season with us, of course. Same with Asher Garcia. Both are MVPs last season. Vic Cantu and Jess Trujillo, your top three in the rotation will be pitchers coming back from last year, but now we also have rookie Jackson Kahn as well. 20-year-old, we'll see what he is capable of in the bottom of the rotation there. Cairo, Emerson, and Jericho will be back. We have a couple of older vets in the back of the bullpen, though. Clint Brock, kind of a jack-of-all-trades option there, and then Rodrigo Harper, we'll call him the Wild Thing. So that's our lineup. That's our team. Let's do a quick sim to the next game. And the Burglars already take a 1-0 or 1-0 lead in the division. Gosh, we have to do this again. First game of the year is against the Dive Bombers, and we're facing off against Reeve Blackwell. This is how our season started last year. We had a tough loss with Asher versus Blackwell. Let's see if Asher can come out on top this time. But I want to check the schedule, and then we'll set the lineup for the game to end it. So we have 4 straight games away. Dive Bombers, Rippers, Scroungers, Skulls. We go home to the Burglars, which we'll be facing off against, I think Sullivan Reddier is on the Burglars. We have a game against the Skimmers. Back home for 2 against the Undulates and Below Zeros. We go to the Protectors. That'll be a nice revenge matchup. That'll be at the Bengata Bowl. We face the Dive Bombers at home, followed by Skimmers, and then we have a doubleheader against the Rippers. We have a game against the Scroungers, and then we end the season with a doubleheader against the Burglars. So this could be pretty intense. Only 2 doubleheaders this year, so that's really nice. But we'll see how our team handles a very unique schedule here, and especially that first 4 games on the road will be really tough to match up with. So let's set the lineup against Reeve Blackwell. He is an ace for sure. He is still an S tier. Holy shit. 32. He's just so freaking good with an elite slider, a tier 3, and composed at tier 2. They have Knox Dominguez at third. So a lot of this team's still familiar. Dominguez, Quintana, Colin Cabrera, Tony Centercut, Messiah Marino, Lax McWallies, Deacon Cannon. They brought in Evergreen Mile, who's going to be their starting right fielder, at least for this game, and then Franklin Pennington. So interesting lineup, but a lot of these are familiar faces. Let's set our lineup, though. Let's do a quick suggestion and see what they suggest for us. And now let me move it around. I think everyone that's on the bench, I want to keep on the bench for now. Let's do leadoff woman Juliana Wentz with that Steeler trait. Then I think Tiger Gray number 2. We'll do Odin Thomas 3. He graduated to the 3 spot after that big, huge MVP season last year. And then I think we go Jack Mars, maybe Mackay Peterson. Geez, this lineup is pretty deep in my eyes. Fernanda Branch was a former All-Star, and she's going to be lower in the order. Teodoro Powell or Teddy Powell. Maybe we'll put... Oh. Vic's a bit quicker. Let's do this. Oh my gosh, this is all deep lineup right now. I'm pretty happy with this. I don't know about all of you, but we're going to go Juliana Wentz, then Tiger Gray. We'll have Odin Thomas, then Jack Mars. We'll have Mackay Peterson. Vic Cantu with Ace Exterminator is our DH. Aaliyah Sesame with Ace Exterminator at catcher. And Teodora Powell and Fernanda Branch. I do have a feeling that Powell's going to get lit up in this matchup against against Reeve Blackwell. I think he's just going to cut him to pieces, but maybe we'll run into one. Fernanda Branch, our number 9 hitter, is crazy after the performance she had last season. So that's really, really interesting. But outside of Wentz here, Tiger, Odin, Jack, Mackay, Vic, and Aaliyah, and Teodoro. Almost everyone in this lineup outside of like Fernanda Branch and Juliana Wentz are like power hitters. Vic, it doesn't look like it, but he's going to get plus 40 power against Reeve Blackwell, plus 10 contact. Aaliyah with the power. Teodoro with the power. Fernanda, decent power, but I wouldn't expect it from her. So that's crazy how much power we have in this lineup compared to what we've seen in seasons past. I hope this is our year, folks. I am really, really hopeful. I'm a bit nervous, but it is what it is. I think we'll go with the unique custom design for the away jersey for this first game of the season. That's where we're at. New team and hopefully a different result as we're going to see if we can get back to the playoffs, but let's see if we can get a little deeper. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.